Hey, everybody, I'm excited to be here. I am Dr. Shelley Wallstrom, and I am the chairman of the Alliance for Addiction, and I get the privilege of introducing an amazing lady, Dr. Marlene Fuson, who I also consider to be a friend of mine. I get to introduce her and give you her bio. Uh, Dr. Marlene Fuson is a board certified doctor of natural medicine. She's the founder of the Elite Retreat Wellness Center in Corbin, Kentucky, the reigning Miss Kentucky Classic Universe. She's also the 2026 Women of Empowerment, honored by Power, professional organization of women of excellence recognized for her leadership, advocacy, and commitment to empowering women through education, healing, and service. Dr. Fusion earned her Doctor of Naturopathy, Naturopathy from Trinity School of Natural Health and completed advanced postgraduate training through Da Vinci College of Natural Medicine. She has also completed advanced biomedical education through Harvard Medical School's HMX fundamentals and pro programs studying biochemistry, genetics, immunology, pharmacology, oncology, vaccines, and viral immunology. Her work bridges classic naturopathy with advanced quantum and frequency-based healing modalities, including quantum medicine, bioresonance, frequency therapy, emotional medicine, and mind-body wellness. At the Elite Retreat Wellness Center, Dr. Fusion utilizes advanced technologies such as Metatron Blue, Opal, NLS analysis, bright frequency therapy, and Bach flower emotional mapping to help clients identify and address emotional imprints, energetic blockages, and frequency imbalances at their root cause. She's an active member of the Metatron Innovative Technologies International Association, MITIA, contributing to the advancement of nonlinear analysis of frequencies and frequency-based wellness practice worldwide. Dr. Fusion is award-winning author of Healing from Within, The Power of Mindset, and Nature and Healing from Within Guided Workbook for Emotional, Physical, and Energetic Transformation. Her work has received national recognition, including Best Transformational and Personal Growth Author and Best Self-Help and Wellness Book in the United States in 2025. As Miss Kentucky Classic Universe and Women of Empowerment 2026, Dr. Fuson uses her platform to advocate for holistic health, emotional healing, and self-empowerment through clinical practice, education, research, and public outreach. She continues to advance integrative frequency-based wellness while inspiring individuals to take an active role in their health, healing, and personal transformation. And I feel just honored to have met her down at a naturopathy conference where I was able to meet her and work with her with amino acids. And I'm just grateful to be able to introduce you to this amazing woman. Dr. Marlene, I'm going to now turn it over to you.
Thank you so very much, Shelley. I appreciate the opportunity to hopefully share some knowledge, and
Hello.
it should be interesting. It should be interesting. Can you all hear me?
Yes, can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if I can hit the
Hello.
share button here. Okay. It's hid from my screen again. Give me just a second. I practiced this a minute ago, but clearly I did not practice this well enough to share. There it goes. Okay, as Shelley said, my name is Dr. Marlene Fuson. I am a board certified naturopath. My office is here in Corbin, Kentucky. The presentation I'm doing today is Healing from Within, the Mind Body Connection. And it just basically explains a few brief things on how we operate here at the office, and how I am trying to use this information to help recovery, all kinds of different recovery. Doesn't matter if they're recovering like sugar addicts or from medications or whatever the case may be. There we go. So basically, what I'm going to talk about is the nutritional aspect of it, because if you don't have the correct fuel in the tank, you can't heal. And that's basically how that works. The hidden gaps and food cravings, how substances and different things like cell phones or EMF radiation or all that can affect cravings in the body. Sound and healing frequencies and how we're using that to remove pathogens and start DNA processes for bodies to actually heal and retain. Amino acids and micronutrients, how we're targeting that in the process, and then bringing it all together. As most of you all already know, over 60% of people in recovery experience multiple nutrient deficiencies, and nearly 50% lack iron and essential vitamins. Nutrition influences neurotransmitters, omega 3, complete proteins, B vitamins, magnesium, and zinc are essential. If you do not have those, your body cannot send the signaling to heal correctly. So, not only is it going to affect your mood and how you interact on a daily basis, it's going to affect whether you are alert and able to retain information. It's also going to affect whether you have the energy to do the things that you need to do to truly heal. Uh, One of the very first things that we go over before we even get into dietary or into supplementation is dietary. And that's removing the gluten out of the diet, because gluten will harden up inside your body. It will harden fungus up inside of your body. And you don't want any of those cobwebs to get hard around your neuroreceptors or around enzyme producing things like pancreatic function or any of that. The second thing is we tell people absolutely zero refined sugar, because if it is a right rotary sugar, it will break things down inside of the body. If it's a left rotary sugar, it will cause repair in the body. An example of that is berries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries. They start balancing out hormone function throughout the body, but they are also left rotary sugars. So those are things that actually help increase DNA, RNA, mitochondria repair, all of that. No refined sugar. You have to have water. If you don't have water, then your cells can't transmit things back and forth. It also can't remove pathogens out and flush through the system. At 2% less water intake, brain fog occurs on its own. That doesn't count any other nutrient deficiencies. So, say I like even numbers. So, say you had to have 100 ounces of water and you only drank 98 ounces of water that day, you're 2% deficient. At that point, brain fog is going to be a thing because you don't have the correct amount of electrical signaling throughout your body. So it's not flushing through the lymphatic system, it's not flushing through the kidneys, it can't transfer things through the digestive tract correctly. So that's part of the nutrition side that we go over. Hidden gaps in food cravings. So substance use damages gut absorption, resulting in thiamine, folate, vitamin D, iron, and protein deficiencies where you are not absorbing and processing the way that you're supposed to. High fat, high sugar triggers the same reward pathways as drug use. Um, and that is the number one reasons, like 1, 2 in that range, um, of relapse. So that is another one of the things that we automatically take off when we're going over what you should and should not be eating is refined sugars. Once again, left rotary versus right rotary, completely different. Your body absorbs them differently. It reacts differently. Your pancreatic function is different in those. And people really, that's an education point that really needs to be emphasized because everybody thinks that all sugars react the same. You can actually check the voltage versus a left rotary versus right rotary. You can actually see the absorption rate. You can see the enzyme process inside the body, and it also causes the brain chemistry to be completely different. If it is a right rotary sugar, the um, MRI that goes around that I'm sure most people have seen. I did not get a slide of it. I meant to get a slide of it to put it in here. There is an image between a cocaine induced and a sugar induced, and they are almost identical. The difference, cocaine will come out of the brain chemistry in roughly 30 days. That same sugar high, just from that one exposure, stays in the brain tissue for roughly 90 days. So it's actually less time coming out from the drug than it is the sugar, which is also a drug because it is refined in the way that it is made now. Albert Einstein, one of my favorite quotes: future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. And it is the more that I continue to learn, the more that this statement just holds very, very true. Everything in the universe, everything is made up of frequencies. Your emotions are made up of frequencies. The food that you are eating is made up of frequencies. The words you speak are made up of frequencies and very much imprint on water. And that's what you're mostly made up of is water. So frequencies matter at a much deeper rate than most people realize. And most people do not realize literally everything is frequency. Um, I do have people do things like binaural beats. So Brain Tap is a great resource for that. It also does part of the light programming to help reverse some imprinting in the neurological system. Um, Singing bowls, gongs, literally sitting on a beach in the waves, like recording the waves hitting, actually will affect theta wave and delta wave, which is why they say beach therapy is a thing, right? There's actually classes on that now. But a lot of that goes into the sound and the frequency that is being made from that. Sound does very much imprint your reaction time. So let's take, for example, you're listening to heavy metal music. You're going to be more anxious. You are going to be more hyper alert. You are going to have more digestive tract issues because your enzymatic activity is going to be higher. You go through and listen to Mozart, or you go through and listen to very calming piano music, your brain waves will slow down, your heart rate variability changes, your enzyme activity changes to where you can digest things correctly, your cortisol level drops, your brain will relax to where you can either learn more or rest more. Sound activates parasympathetic nervous system, lowering cortisol and boosting serotonin. That is very important, especially when you get into addiction recovery, because most people, once again, serotonin levels are awful. They're not resting. They're not able to recover. Their brain is not able to repair. Um, Study highlights on sound. In observational studies, participants attending a 60-minute sound healing session with Tibetan bowls experienced significant reduction in tension and anxiety. In that particular study, they checked heart rate variability. They did cortisol testing before and after. They also did PEG and HEG measurements. So they're checking the oxygen throughout the blood. They're checking um, other markers for that. And what the significant to that was a 88% reduction in tension, anxiety, and overall stress hormones throughout the body. Thomas Edison, the doctor of the future, will give no medicine, but will insist on his patients in the human frame, in diet, and the cause of prevention of diseases. Meaning, we're going to go through, have the conversation about what gluten's doing on your body, have the conversation about what refined sugar is doing on your body. And I believe that he was 100% correct. You know, we not to say that medicines can very much be useful, like nitro underneath the tongue, very important when needed, but it is not a preventative everyday that's not going to have downstream errors on the body and cause issues long term in the body. We need to be helping our people understand what can prevent them to get to that in the first place. Amino acids rebuild neurotransmitters, gave examples of that. Targeted supplementation can reduce cravings, balance mood, and ease withdrawal symptoms. Um, you make sure that you have your amino acids with the nutrient dense diet all at once, and you really do see full body healing and sustained recovery. This is how we get to recovery in the office. You have all your puzzle pieces and you put all your puzzle pieces together, and that is what is proving to be sustained recovery. Final thoughts. Nutrition and vibrational healing are powerful tools to restore balance and resilience. Eating whole foods, replenishing essential nutrients, and avoiding processed sugars and the wrong kind of fats. Healthy fats are good, bad fats are bad. Uh, Integrating sound healing, breath work, mindfulness, and community for deeper recovery, using amino acids thoughtfully as an adjunct to a rich diet and healthy lifestyle. Trust your body's ability to heal, and recovery begins from within. So that's pretty much all that I had prepared. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. I'm interested. Hi, Marlene. I'm interested in hearing what it would be like for a client coming to you. Can you kind of walk through the typical process of starting the work with you?
Okay. Typically, when people come to our office, they just fill out a very basic form. It is their name, their phone number, their email address, and they read. Um, we're part of the Professional Wellness Alliance. So there's like a form that they have to read for that, right? Then we put them in one of the Metatron scan rooms, and we're either doing what is called blood work or a full body scan. So there's two different ways. Blood work, it takes longer to put the information in the machine than it does to get the results back, but there's no needle that goes in the arm. It literally is just the transducer headset that sits on the head, and it's receiving all the signals through basically the body's central processing unit, which is your brain, right? So blood work, very quick, gives you generalizations. We go over their A1C, we go over their lipid levels, we go over whether they're vitamin mineral deficient. We go over what organs are being affected if it's popped it up. So it could be saying essential hypertension for for an example, right? Well, that can be caused from liver function, or that could be caused by kidney function, or that could be caused from both or not functioning correctly, right? And then I go to it, and then you check to see what is affecting which organs, and then you have that discussion, right? You'll see all the pathogenic load. So you'll see their viral load, you'll see their fungal load, you'll see their bacteria load, you'll see heavy metals, you'll see all that. That's just blood work. If they're doing a full body scan, it will actually break apart the organs, and I can see what's going on in what organ. So if there's a blockage, for instance, in the heart, it will break it apart. I can see if it's upper chamber, lower chamber, if it's actually affecting the valve, and then it gets into that. By the time they go through one of the two scans, then I have the information, and then we start going over the process. And typically, not even halfway down the list, they're shocked because they've never told me one symptom that they're having, and I've already explained the symptoms that they're having based on their pathogen load. Because everything is frequency, in the frequency, it's just like math, right? 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. It's always going to equal 2. Frequencies are always going to equal what's going on inside the body. Then once you're able to see where their absorption is, right? So if say they are serotonin deficient, you're going to see that. Once you see that, then you can also test to see what they can uptake and what they can't uptake. So that's how you know what they need. And that's when we get into, okay, here's what you're going through for your symptoms. They're telling me how by that point we've hit the emotion scan part of it, because it will tell me what their emotions are. And then that's when we get into, well, I can't stop crying. You're right. Sadness is there. I can't stop crying. Or I don't know what it is, but at 2 a.m. every morning, I'm getting up having crazy food cravings, or whatever the case may be, right? And then that's when we get into that side of it, and then go back and see what they can absorb, like glutamine, to stop the cravings or whatever. And by the time that's done, we have a good nutritional plan set for them. If they do need Bach flowers to help push some of the emotional blockages out faster, I'll know which Bach flowers that they will need without having to. I was trained classic Bach flowers as well. So you had the big long form, right? And you had to check all the boxes and pick how many of which of your helper healers and all that to do it. This actually will tell me what they are in there and what they're actually absorbing, what they really need, and what they're able to absorb of it. So then we can use the Bach flowers also to go through and help with that process if needed. And we have both the traditional Bach flowers that do have small parts of brandy, and then we have the newer Bach flowers that have no type of alcohol in them whatsoever, depending on where a person is with that.
What is the length of time that you would spend to do that initial piece?
Okay, so if they're just blood work, they're literally hooked up to the machine for about 30 seconds. But then I'm in there for 45 minutes to an hour going over those results. If they are doing a full scan, it can last anywhere between three plus hours. The longest one that we've had was literally a 13-hour process, but the little boy there was a lot going on. There was a whole lot going on. And it was a 13-hour process by the time all the testing was done. He's doing great now, though. He was one of mine that was sent home on hospice, and that was 10 years ago. And he is the father of two now. So he's doing great. So it's very rewarding to see the strong challenges like that actually get a good outcome in the end.
Are there any other practices in the US that are using this? Or doing what
Not
you
like I do. Not like I do. So you have, I think it's 15 or 20 Metatrons out across the United States right now, but most of them are not trained to use it correctly. So they're just using the standard diagnostic, but they're not understanding how to get in to get to those deeper levels, understanding the absorption part of it. So yeah, there's not another practitioner here in the United States other than me that went to Da Vinci to get trained on it. So, and that's why the MITIA, that's why I'm a part of it, is because I actually did have the training to be able to become a part of it. So, but our goal is to hopefully do a school like me and Vera have been talking about this. Like, I actually want to train people stateside. That way, they have good clinical data and they can continue to publish the works because they're publishing works in Italy. They're publishing works from this over in Europe, but we don't have good practitioners here sending data back. Like the only person they're taking data back from is me right now. So my goal is to get a good good schooling to where people can do that and we can get the good results back.
Very encouraging. Thank you for sharing.
I have a question. When I heard the word blood work, I thought in terms of somebody sticks a needle in my vein and takes it out and runs it through lab. That doesn't sound like what you're doing. Are
That
you
is
taking
not.
a sample of blood and putting it in a machine, or are you doing something
No.
else?
So we are truly doing it through the Metatron scan, which is through those transducers. It is the same way that they were doing blood work on astronauts. And that's how I got initially excited about this is once I realized that this was that same equipment I was asking about when I was in fourth grade. So in fourth grade, we had NASA camp. That's the big thing that they were doing, right? They had the space camp. And you would have these physicists go around the different schools to try to get you to take tests to be able to go to space camp. Well, one of the things that they said were they had to take very close eye because muscles would atrophy and everything while the astronauts were in space. So they had to keep a very close eye on all the blood work in space. So on the astronauts while they were in space. And I said, and they got to the point for questions, right? And I said, I have one. And they were like, okay. I said, so zero gravity, you can't run a centrifuge in space. So how are you keeping an eye on their blood work? How are you making sure they're absorbing what they're supposed to be absorbing? And they said, we have very detailed equipment that is keeping very close eye on this while they are up there. This is that equipment. This is that same style equipment, and that's what we are using. So you really can see their A1C. You really can see like different cardiac enzymes. You can get in to see TSH, T4, T3, T3 free, T4 free. So you've got like all the different endocrine panel in there. You've got aldosterone. You've got all of it. So when I say blood work, I'm talking your standard metrics, like what I was trained to look at. Like I can see my IgA antibodies, so I can tell their fungal load. I can see their IgG antibodies, so I can tell their bacterial load. Like that's exactly what I'm looking at when I'm saying blood work. We call it blood work because that one little section literally is just testing blood, not full organ functionality. But you can see all those matrix from just the blood work. So you have a good idea of where they are with that.
So this is the machine you talked about before that's doing that?
Correct. The Metatron machine.
Okay. Is there literature on that machine somewhere?
There is tons of literature on that machine. It is an FDA registered device. I think it's a class 3 certification. I would have to double check that because those numbers sometimes don't stick in my head and I have to go back and relook at those, just being honest. But I think it's a class 3 device. But there is, like I said, numerous studies on it. The technology has been around for a very long time. Um, it's just not widely used, and people don't go get the training for it because it's a journey to get extra training on it. There's no schools stateside that train on it.
So how does it take the blood sample that's inside the body? You're saying it's just reading the body's vibrations?
It is reading the frequencies of it. Everything has a specific frequency. Just like when Rife took his electron microscope and looked at the frequency of the different pathogens underneath there using the light spectrum to give it its frequency range, right? So you're taking those specific ones, testing it at the nervous system level, and it will give you those exact readouts.
Interesting.
So you can see it like say you're vitamin A deficient. It will pop that up and it will tell me at what level. You go to LabCorp, do same blood draw, it will match almost 100%. So it's pretty awesome when you can actually take your normal quantitative and put it side by side to it to see the reaction.
This Meditron?
MET
MET is the
META
Tom?
yeah METARON Metatron.
Named after the angel?
Yeah, basically yes. They won't say that, but that's literally it was a influence.
Okay. Yeah, that's all the questions I have.
Okay. It's pretty neat though. Like You can do PET scans, 1-to-1 translate in it. You can do CT scans, MRI. It's very interesting and detailed technology once you learn how to use it. And it's just a process of learning how to use it correctly.
Where's your clinic
Kentucky,
again?
Corbin, Kentucky.
Okay. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Marlene, for all this information. And I appreciate you so much for coming on here and sharing your knowledge with the Alliance. Anybody else have any other questions or any more thoughts or ideas or statements?
No, I'm set.
Well,
Okay.
thank you all very much for having me. I appreciate it. I hope I was able to share some useful data at least.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you much.
And now you can reach out to her. You can get her. You can get a hold of her, and she left her. If you check the chat, she's got her information in there. So again, Dr. Marlene, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on here.
Thank
And,
you.
we appreciate you guys all joining us for this public forum. I don't remember who we're having for April, but there will be one in April. Do we know, Anne? I think that
Still to be announced, Miss Shelley.
okay. So to be announced, it will be the same time, 4th Wednesday of April. Watch for the newsletter, and then you'll get more information. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and have a great day.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.